as I began to see Jesus for not only a religious figure, but I began to see Jesus as the leader that he was, we will inevitably kneel to that. Guys, I think one of the misnomers, I believe this to be true in Christianity, is when we see God, when we sense him, when we experience him, when we see him for who he is, we will bow. You were made to bow. You were made to worship. It's in your DNA. But if it's not Jesus, it's going to be something else. It's going to be you, or it's going to be an idea. It's going to be a model. And the key of this whole point is what comes into our minds when we think about the leadership of Jesus. And step one is the idea that he is the model. Again, the work of beginning to see the model, the leadership model that has been structured by Christ himself, as opposed to what the world has said is the right way. It's critical we see it clearly. And tried to look at some ideas of leadership, and tried to take the notions of theory and pronounced or profound leadership theories that have been present for a long time, and compared them with what we already know to be God's standard. So a couple of things here, and just want to spend a little time on leadership here. At the very, very top, you've got the Spartan warrior ethos and credo. One of the things that my clientele, my students, people that I talk about with leadership, is they view leadership as this very almost machismo, macho, bravado, sort of tough kind of mentality. And often when you present some of these concepts to male leaders, they'll look at it as a weakness. Therefore, they'll often look at the commands and the dictates of Jesus in leadership, and they'll say, weakness. That doesn't look like it's meaty. My years in academia, that's bothered me. Because as I've studied leadership for 25, 30 years, what I've continued to see is the top leadership theories out there today are actually pushing the notions that we've been talking about, again, that we mentioned last week. We've been talking about this for 2,000 years. Okay. So I want to try to make that point today in our time together. So when you think about the Spartan warrior ethos and credo at the top there, the Spartans were raised to be warriors, at least on the men's side, the male side. From the time that they were little boys, they were taught to fight. They would create a battle structure or a battle tactic, and they called it the phalanx. The phalanx was like a turtle shell. They would all come together and literally create with their shields and create a turtle shell around one another. Their tactics alone demanded synergy. It demanded cohesion. It demanded selflessness. Ironically enough, look at this. This is the Spartan warrior ethos and credo. This is my shield. I bear it before me into battle, but it is not mine alone. It protects my brother on my left. It protects my city. I will never let my brother out of its shadow, nor my city out of its shelter. I will die with my shield before me facing the enemy. Their battle tactics were to take care of one another. The very top right on that same slide, it's entitled Ancient Virtues of the Warrior. And this is from a leadership course that I teach, and I call it Warriorship, primarily because most of my executive leaders are men. And I've used this warriorship notion to try to teach them some of the basic principles of emotional intelligence. And it's kind of funny that we're using warriors to train that. But again, the point is made. Bushido code, they would protect the imperial palace. They would die trying to save the imperial palace, to protect the leadership. These were the samurai. They would dedicate their life to this. And what they would drive into their samurai warriors: integrity, respect, honor. I love Jin, compassion. What? I mean, compassion? Warriors, compassion? What's the story there? Because true strength, true power, if you don't have compassion, you will destroy people. That is the law. It's guaranteed. Put it on your refrigerator. If you have power and authority and you do not have compassion, you will mislead. I was raised by a man who served in I was raised by a man whose father served in World War II, a father who led in Vietnam. I joined the Marines myself. And what appealed to me about warriorship was strength, power, dominating other people, being better than other people. That for me was what the military mindset was all about. And then I stumbled across this. You study the ancient virtues of the warrior, and they're talking about brotherly love. And why do warriors need mercy? Why do warriors need passion and honor? Because it keeps us in check. Because God, at the very fundamental level, understands our defaults. He understands where we'll go if we don't keep ourselves in check in these lines. So again, a reminder,